please tell us about Marisol Rainey.
So Maybe Maybe Marisol Rainey is about an 8-year-old girl named Marisol, and there is a tree in her backyard, which she has named Pepina, because Marisol believes that all important things should have their own names. So she has named the tree Pepina, and she's afraid to climb it. Her brother climbs the tree. Her brother's best friend climbs the tree. Her best friend climbs the tree. But she's afraid of climbing it because she's afraid of heights, and she's afraid of many other things as well. So the story is about Marisol and her overcoming her fears, basically. And Marisol is very much inspired by myself. When I was 8 years old, I was a very cautious, introverted worrywart, and that absolutely describes Marisol. And like Marisol, I believed that all things were sentient, all things were alive. So I would talk to the furniture. I would talk to my stuffed animals, of course. And that's pretty much how Marisol is, too. She also loves silent movies, which is something that I loved when I was a kid. And the story is basically her journey and her best friend, Jada, who's a very, very good best friend to her. And there's a lot of Marisol's family life. Her mother's Filipino, and her father works on an oil rig in the Gulf of Mexico. So he's only home 1 week out of the month. And she has an older brother named Oz and a cat named Jelly Beans, because she names her stuffed animals and her real life animal after her favorite foods. So she has 4 stuffed animal cats, Nacho, Pot Roast, Banana Split, and Lumpia. And she has a real life pet cat named Jelly Beans, and she calls him Beans for short.
I love that. I was so enchanted by this idea of naming a cat Pot Roast that if we get another cat, I think it's 50-50. I'm going to try and pull. I'll have to talk Mrs. Cat into it, but I think Pot Roast is such a great name for a cat.
Yeah, I agree.
So who would be the ideal reader for this story that you're hoping will pick this up?
So the ideal reader would be someone who is just getting into reading books on their own. It would be, I like to think that it would speak to any young kid, of course, but specifically kids who know what it's like to be afraid of something, who will find a kindred spirit in Marisol, who is a worrywart. So if you're a little worrywart out there, if your listeners know little worrywarts in their lives, they would be an ideal audience for this book as well. Readers who want to read about a very endearing and special friendship. I think childhood best friendship is such a special relationship, and it's really celebrated in this book. And there's also a lot of humor in it. The illustrations gave me an opportunity to add little touches of humor and little peeks into Marisol's imagination. So even though Marisol is kind of a quiet kid, introspective kid, she has a very rich inner life and a very big imagination, which also comes through in the book.